She leaped her way to gold and stole the show at the 2012 Summer Olympic Games as part of the U.S. team known as the Fierce Five. Her triumph also made 16-year-old Gabby Douglas the first African-American to be named the world's best all-around gymnast. That has led to a post-Olympic life jammed with TV appearances, photo shoots, and endorsement deals. The Virginia Beach native also just wrapped up a cross-country gymnastics tour. Gabby told me she's still getting used to her newfound fame.
For example, if you're out shopping at a grocery store and you see yourself on the Essence magazine there in the grocery store or wherever, what goes through your mind when you see Gabby Douglas on the cover of a magazine?
I just stop and just stare for like 5 minutes. I'm like, wow, this is very cool. And I just like take pictures of it, and it's just...
So you do take pictures of it?
I take pictures of it.
That's great. You were on that podium and they started playing the Star-Spangled Banner. What was going through your mind at that moment?
It was kind of like a concert. I mean, there was flashes everywhere. The flag was raising. When I bent down to get my medal, I just thought about all the hard work, all the sacrifices was definitely worth it. And I was thinking, thank you, God. Thank you for bringing me to this moment.
She counts that moment as a miracle after being born with the life-threatening rare blood disease.
When I was a baby, I was very sick. I just remember my mom just telling me that she kept praying and praying for me every single night when I was up coughing or I couldn't keep food down. And she was just praying for me every single night. And finally, God answered her prayers.
More answers would come. Gabby grew up in a devout Christian home where she says faith became part of her DNA. After winning gold, she boldly thanked God and hasn't stopped.
It's just very exciting, and I'm so glad that I get to speak out. And when people tweet at me and saying, I'm so glad you did it, then I'm just like, oh, man, I'm so glad I did it too. I'm so glad I speak out because I have a voice and I spoke out for what I believed in.
The road to victory was not easy. In her new book, Grace, Gold, and Glory, My Leap of Faith, Gabby highlights many of her struggles, including the time when her family was homeless.
I went through some negative things, but I feel like God has always been there with me.
Why did you want to write the book?
I wanted to write the book because I want people to get motivated and I want people to get inspired and happy. And though you may be going through difficulties or struggles, I wanted you to know that everything is possible.
She says there were times when it was hard to hang on to that kind of hope.
My faith was tested. I remember championships where I fell 5 times and I was going through an injury. And I looked at my mom and said, why? I feel like God is not there for me. And my mom just sat me down and said, I don't, know what's happening, but don't give up now.
She says her mom, Natalie, a single mother, and her family kept pushing her to keep the faith.
I don't think I could have done it without my family being behind me every single minute, through the thick, through the thin.
You mentioned something in the book about you asked God, why did you give me this special gift? Why do you think he blessed you with this gift?
It makes me wonder, saying, why did he choose me out of all the millions of people out there? Why me? And I just sit down and just think, and I'm just like, But I think God has a plan for everyone, and God, has just blessed me through thick and thin. I just sit down and say, I'm so blessed to be in this position right now.
She says knowing God had a plan kept her motivated.
Prayer plays a big role in my life. And every single time before I competed, I was just praying just to God and saying, thank you for all, God. No matter what happens tomorrow, I'm still going to be with you. Win or lose, I'm still going to bless you. I'm still going to give you all the glory because you brought me here.
But her Olympic dream almost ended before it even began, when Gabby contemplated leaving the sport while training in Iowa.
I wrote down this long text message on my phone saying I wanted to quit, I wanted to join track or field, any excuse that I could come home and get out of gymnastics. My mom didn't believe me, so we had a family discussion.
Gabby is grateful for that pep talk and for the blessings that have come with it. Meanwhile, she's looking ahead to the Rio Games in 2016 and a possible shot at acting. For now, she wants to use her platform to inspire others that with hard work, dreams can come true if you trust in God and let yourself soar.
Here we go. Oh!
So glad that I got to go to London and inspire young girls or anyone really, and just to pass down my advice and to pass down the message and say anything is possible if you just believe. Making the history books, I didn't really know at first. I remember going to the media, they're like, okay, you've made history. And I'm like, oh yeah, I did.
Charlene Israel, CBN News.